Internet, and welcome back to Red River Legends. Thanks for joining us this lovely Thursday evening. I'm your MC, Val, and we're here to play some Urban Shadows 2nd edition in our second installment of our 3-part series here, while we give Sid a break. Thanks for joining us here, everyone. We're going to get started here in a second. As you can probably tell, our cast mix, our rotating chairs of cast members is shifting once again. We have RJ back, but unfortunately, Savannah is dealing with too much tooth trauma to make it here today. She's still recovering, sitting about 20 feet that direction. Just blitzed on pain meds. No, I'm just kidding. She's doing fine, but won't be able to join us tonight. We have lots of stuff going on the channel. If you're interested in other shows that we've got going on right now, join us. I think I have the music a bit too loud. I'm gonna turn it down just a smidgen. We have lots of shows going on right now that you can come join us for if you like what you see here tonight. The next 2 being run on the channel are being run by me, because I don't know why I decided to do this to myself 3 nights in a row. Tomorrow, on Friday, we will have the next installment of Neon Souls, which is our sci-fi swashbuckling adventure. We're playing the Fate system in our 3rd season of the Neon Souls universe. So come hang out with us tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Time for that. On Saturday, we will have the next game of Saturday Night's Star Power, where we will be playing Fate again in our JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime Jujutsu Kaisen inspired game, where all sorts of drama is happening there. Again, I couldn't even give a sufficient recap for any of these shows if I wanted to, and that is my cross to bear. We have all sorts of other shows going on throughout the channel, though. You can check out the full lineup of all of our streams below our faces if you're watching us live on Twitch. If you are not watching us live, you're watching us on YouTube at some point in the future, head over to our Twitch page and then see whatever we've got going on right now, because I don't know what it is. Speaking of YouTube, we have a exclusive show up on YouTube right now, because last was that Monday? No, Tuesday. No. Saturday. We had, I think we premiered it on Monday on YouTube, but on Saturday we had some technical issues for the one shot that I ran, which we called Funtime Dungeon Land. Funtime Dungeon Land, where I ran a D&D for the first time in like a year, and we did a game show dungeon crawl. It was very fun. I think we all had a really good time with it.
It was a blast.
Pure chaos. Go check that out on YouTube, though. It was a blast, and I'm definitely going to run that premise again. That's basically it, though. I'm going to stop talking for a little bit and let my players here introduce themselves, talk about who they are, what they do on and off this channel, and who they're playing tonight, starting with Sid.
Hey, I'm Christina Sid. You can find me on the Twitters at GreekSid. Basically just talking about the fun stuff that I do here. I am here a lot. I'm here usually running this shindig on Thursdays, but Val is nice enough to give me a break while we're in Hell Week and tech for musical. It's almost done. One more fucking week. So thank you for that, Val. You're amazing. But yeah, Thursdays, Fridays, every other Saturday, Sunday, and Mondays. Woohoo! Good times. Tonight I'm playing Queenie Tate. Queenie is the imp.
Next up is Alex.
Hello, I'm Alex. OMG, it's some guy on the internets. Usually I'm here Tuesdays, Thursdays, and sometimes Saturdays. Though I wasn't here this past Tuesday with our normal Tabletop Tuesday schedule. Instead, LB ran a Monster of the Week one-shot for the rest of the group, which was a lot of fun. So you should check that out either on the VOD or when that goes up on YouTube. And then when I'm not here on this channel, Sunday nights, I'm on LB Hackamup's channel doing our Masks game over there. Tonight, I am playing Anthony Tony's Adrift, The Sworn.
And last up is RJ.
Hey everybody, it's me, RJ, and you can catch me at rjustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes stream with my pals. I'm in 4 places right now, currently. I'm at the Indoor Adventures on Mondays, where we do a homebrew D&D 5e campaign. We're currently in the Shadowfell, and things are looking a bit sticky. I think my character's about to summon an army of the dead a la Lord of the Rings to go assault the Raven Queen's castle. I'm here on Thursdays with this lovely cast for Red River Legends, and hopefully the next season of Elegant Magics, or whatever we're doing. Saturdays, back here again for some Star Power and Mistborn recurrent. Swap off whenever we do that. Over at the Hepgoblins in the morning on Sundays, where we do another 5e campaign. We are in the body of a dead god, and all of my other party members are possessed. I don't know, I get up to some shit. Finally, on Sunday nights until the 28th, I'll be over at LB Hackamup's, where we are doing masks. I'll be with Alex. We'll see you there. Oh, and today I'm playing Riley Fitzgerald, who is the Aware.
And emceeing this game, I'm Val, the Kraken's Crown. On Twitter and Twitch, you can find me here Thursdays through Mondays playing and running games. I already talked about most of all the games that I'm running right now, so I'm not going to do that again. Y'all ready to get started? Okay. I've got a recap, and then we're going to bring our buddy Riley into this. We went ahead and before the stream did Riley's debts and relationship stuff, so if that'll come up organically in play maybe, just to save us a little bit of time. But previously on Red River Legends, your group, your fixers, employees of the Red River Brokerage had a meeting with Alicia Drake, a contract broker for the RRB, who gave you a job to look into strange happenings that have been going on since the opening of a new nightclub called the Siren. She told you that the Siren broke ground recently after an accord struck between 2 powerful Dallas factions, the LP and the Vaqueros. You began your investigation with a young man named Fisher, who had been committed to a mental ward of the Metro Hospital after suffering from death premonitions. You freed him from the hospital and brought him to Queenie's magical establishment, the Buckingham. Fisher told you that the visions began after stealing a watch from the bar of the nightclub, the aforementioned Siren. Upon inspection, Anthony identified magical runes etched on the back of the object. You took Fisher to the brokerage's halfway house for the supernaturally exposed, where you met the werewolf caretaker Bruno and his vampire partner Clarice. Anthony called Tara, an arcane specialist, for help identifying the curse that he noticed on the watch. Tara agreed to help on the condition that Anthony would pick up her brother, who had gotten in deep with a local gang called the Parkers. And that is where we pick up. Change our music. Bruno has just come down the creaky wooden stairs inside this old building, this old halfway house, giving a nod to Queenie, Tony, and Maddox, and said, "She's upstairs, and, well, she's amenable to meeting with you, if that's what you'd like. I just request that you be as gentle with this as possible."
Of course.
I think we can do that.
All right, follow me then. He turns and begins walking up the steps, As he does, the doorbell rings.
You expecting company?
Looks down towards the entryway to the kitchens, which Clarice walks out of, throwing a towel over her shoulder and says, "I've got it, hon, I've got it." And goes and opens the door. And standing there in the porch light of the early evening is a somewhat familiar face to the two of you. RJ, would you like to introduce Riley?
Riley is probably standing there in basically business casual. He has a one of those windbreaker jackets with the Red River brokerage on the chest, and he's holding like a couple of manila folders. He looks about like mixed Asian, long hair pulled back in a ponytail, and he like looks over the shoulder and waves to you too. Hey, howdy, I'm Riley Fitzgerald. I'm with the Red River Brokerage.
Right, darling, I think you're in the right place. Come on in.
I think someone called ahead.
Yeah,
this
here,
is like the
come in.
paperwork
You're gonna
and
let
stuff.
the moths in if you keep staying at the door like that.
My apologies, ma'am.
She closes the door and says, turns back towards Bruno and says, "I gave him a call while you were talking, just to check in. Wanted to make sure they were who they said they were." There's a heavy sigh and says, "Right, well, guess it can't hurt to be too cautious. Riley, you're welcome, along with the others, I guess. You might want to fill them in on what's going on. I'll meet you upstairs."
Thank you. Turns to Riley. You're our fucking fourth.
Everyone's busy. I don't know what to tell you.
Fine. Nightclub, bunch of mortals turning into other things. This poor woman upstairs got turned into some sort of shadow monster. Sound fun?
Looking to Bruno, then up to the stairs. I wouldn't exactly call it like fun. That's not language we should use according to the manual.
Tony kind of minutely nods appreciatively, like, "Ah, yes, the manual."
But yeah, we can look into that.
Be gentle with her. Let's go. Pissed. That's upstairs.
So is it like leaning over to Tony? So is this like a Devilman Crybaby sort of thing where they kind of went into a club and then there was like some ritual or whatever and everyone turned into devils, or just like...
I don't believe I'm familiar with that intellectual property, but that does sound like a fairly accurate summation of events, though we're still uncertain as to the origin of this these transformations. The only link between all the victims is going to this club.
All right.
So we already, I think, maybe nods towards the kitchen. We already got one out of the hospital, having visions of death.
Yeah, you see a young man sitting at the kitchen table in this small, kind of old looking interior kitchen to the halfway house with like a hoodie on, sipping a cup of coffee and decaf. Of course, it's late, and he's been looking over pretty frequently towards the group of you as this conversation as Riley has shown up, clearly nervous.
So, got him. We're talking to the young lady who, as was mentioned, is now shadowy. And then there was another who went berserk and didn't make it.
All right. Riley will fall up the stairs.
Okay. You all head up the creaking staircase until it hits the second floor landing. You see Bruno standing off to the right down the hall, at a closed door, room marked number 6, and he knocks at the door. He says, "Donna, I've got the people here that I told you about. They want to ask you a couple questions. You still good with that?" And you hear a faint voice on the other side says, "Yeah, they can come in." All right. Bruno reaches up, not even having to strain or anything, to the lamp, the overhead light, and unscrews the light bulb a bit until it flickers out, and then opens the door, casting the entryway here into shadow. And inside the room is pitch black currently. You can catch the faint bit of light coming through, like peeking through the curtains, from some of the city skyline and some of the light pollution of the city. But they're drawn, trying to obscure as much light to this room as possible.
Thank you.
The three of you step into the room, into the darkness here. Bruno remains silhouetted in the door, sort of leaning against the frame with his arms crossed. Quiet. Not threatening in any way, but just observing and making sure none of you get up in any funny business. And you can't see anything in this room. Again, it's pitch black in here. But you hear the creaking of the bed somewhere in the corner of the room, and you kind of feel just innately the shifting of somebody moving in the room in front of you, and a voice, very timid and clearly nervous, speaks out. "Who are you people?"
Hi, I'm Queenie. This is Tony and Riley. We're with the Red River Brokerage. They send us out when, well, things like this happen. People get exposed to, well, stuff like us. We're hoping to ask you a couple questions. Hopefully, we might be able to help you out a little bit.
"So you're monsters too?"
More well-versed in the monsters, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't call us monsters. We're just different.
Folks who have exposure and experience to the real monsters.
I'm gonna have. I don't know if we're ready to. I don't know if I'm ready to roll. You all aren't pushing very hard, right? Nothing's been pushed very hard right now. And she's agreed to answer your questions, so I don't think we need to roll yet. Again, you hear the shifting of the bed as she seems to be sitting on the edge of it somewhere in the darkness. And she says, "What do you want to know?"
First and foremost, miss, do you mind if I take a light out?
"I'd prefer you didn't."
To get the full extent of what we need to do, we're gonna see what kind of condition you're in.
This is going to require a roll, yeah. So I'm gonna need you to roll to persuade an NPC with seduction, promises, or threats. I guess let's expand on this a little bit. What are you offering her? Like, we can do this in character too. Riley is does Riley say anything to sort of persuade her further? Offering anything?
We might have people at the brokerage who might be able to fix you up. But first off, we need to see what's happened and more or less catalog it.
Okay, that's sufficient. Go ahead and roll with heart.
Roll. 12.
Damn. Okay. When you persuade an NPC with section promises or lies, roll heart. On a hit, they see your point and do as you ask. All right. There's a bit of pause, and you can hear the intake of breath, and then a sigh.
All right, Miss Donna, I'm gonna approach your bed now.
Nothing too bright. It hurts.
You'll pull out a Zippo.
Okay. You kind of walk towards the center of the room, pulling out the Zippo lighter, flick it a few times until it finally catches, the gas igniting and a flickering red light cast out over the room around you for the three of you to see. At first you don't see much, still this just darkness over the room, and you take a step forward towards the edge of the bed, still darkness, and as you step in closer, you almost notice the darkness isn't retreating, and you realize that the darkness is coalesced, resting on the surface of the bed itself, sitting on the edge of it. And as you try to make out the flickering shape, you see a vaguely human looking form sitting on the bed, but with these tendrils of shadow sort of casting out, flicking towards the light. As it get too close to the lighter in your hand, they retreat suddenly, almost hearing like a slight sizzling noise from the exposure, and you hear her kind of shift uncomfortably and sit back. But yeah, I mean, she looks like a person, almost comprised of pure shadow. You know those the sort of fan art of the Slenderman stuff with the tentacles coming off and stuff, essentially like that.
Riley, once he's taken a sufficient look, closes the lighter. Sorry if that was discomforting, miss.
You hear her like almost ragged breath sort of growing a bit easier as the light goes out. She seems to calm a little bit. She says, "It's fine. How are you gonna help me?"
Well, we think this might be connected to a place you went recently, a nightclub called the Siren.
How'd you know I was there?
The brokerage did some background work to try and figure out what might be happening to you, and unfortunately, you weren't the only person that has gone to this nightclub that something like this has happened to. It's sort of the connection between all of y'all right now. So we were hoping we could ask you about the night you went there, and hopefully that'll give us some more answers.
All right, fine. I don't know how that's gonna help, but whatever. Just ask your questions.
All right. Could you tell us about the night that you went to the club? What day it was? Who you went with?
Yeah. It's a Friday night. I mean, when else does anybody go to a club? Went with a couple of my girlfriends. We I don't know. We just went there to have fun. Hadn't been open that long. People started talking about it. Some people from work were mentioning it, said that they had so much fun there. And anyway, we went, and it was nice. I mean, nothing real special. Had a couple drinks, danced. Actually, we got invited back to the VIP room, which was pretty exciting. And,
Really?
Tony is back by the doorway with his notebook out, and so that he gets some of the residual light and VIP circle underline, just in case.
Just yeah, I've never had anything like that happen to me before, and so we said yes, and we went back and we met some of the people back there. I mean, kind of like your rich, rich assholes that go to the club, that sort of thing. But they were like, some of them were a bit sleazy, but a couple of them were nice. Talked, had a couple drinks, and we went home.
Can you remember any of their names?
No. Well, there was one. He was really nice to me. I think his name was Xander. He was really nice. Very pretty. Like extremely, like a model. Like I'd never seen anyone that pretty before. And he gave me this necklace, and then which I thought was sweet. I told him I didn't need it. It looked like more expensive than anything I even owned. But he insisted, so I took it, and like I said, we just hung out and had some drinks for a while.
When did strange things start happening?
A couple days after that. Well, I mean, the day after, I woke up with a pretty bad hangover and stayed at home. Had a really bad migraine, or what I thought was a migraine. Like the light was just way too bright, and then it just didn't stop. And I tried going to the doctor, and they gave me some pills, but those didn't help. And then a couple days after that, I started to notice changes, and then I woke up and I looked like this.
The necklace you mentioned? Do you still have it?
Yeah. Why?
That might be part of this. Something similar happened to another fella that's downstairs. There was a watch. Do you mind if we take a look at it?
Sure. Hold on. And you hear her get up, move over to like a dresser on the other side of the room, hear a drawer open. The bit of like metal shifting sound of like a chain, and then she moves up to you, Queenie, and she says, hold out your hand. And from the darkness itself, a necklace drops into your hand. and you kind of move back towards the hall to kind of look at it in the light. And what you see is a like a gold chain necklace. There are like several chains together, all bound to a single like stone in the center that looks like amber. And inside the amber, like sort of encased in it, is a leaf. Very pretty. Like a it almost looks like purplish.
Riley will head over to Tony. Hey, I'm gonna see if I can't retrieve that watch from the young man downstairs.
Tony pulls it out of his pocket.
Oh,
I have an acquaintance who will be able to take a look at this later. So, Queenie, if I may.
Donna, do you mind if Tony here takes a look at this? We might want to, if you don't mind, have it taken to someone that can take a real good look at it. If nothing's wrong with it, then we'll give it back to you, if that's all right.
Yeah, if as long as I hand it back, that's fine. You're not gonna like break it or anything.
Not unless breaking it fixes what happened to you.
That might be the case. If that's the case, is that all right?
Yeah, if breaking the necklace fixes me, then yeah, you can smash it with a hammer. I don't care. But
All right, then.
if not, I'd like to have it back.
Of course. Hands it over to Tony.
Puts
Do you
it in a
think-
separate pocket from the watch?
You think this guy, that Sander, might have something to do with this?
Honestly, darling, I don't know. The young man with the watch, he said he just found it. No one even gave it to him. So, I'm not sure. Could be. Could just be, I don't know. They had a cursed object or something. Didn't know anything about it.
Okay. I'm so stupid.
No, darling, you're not. Not at all. Hey, we've all been there before and saw a pretty face, and it's taking a present is far less than I've ever done, that's for sure. So, you can't kick yourself over something like that, all right?
Okay. I'll try not to.
Good.
There was
This
one other
pretty
thing.
face, though. If we could get a bit more of a description of him, so if we find him, we can ask him some questions too.
Yeah. He had like really blonde hair. Hold on, Zoom. I'm trying to fix. Zoom right now is like frozen.
No.
Don't know why. 1 second.
if you try grabbing one of our screens and moving it off to the side, does that fix it?
No, Zoom is totally gone.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
No.
Like this stream probably can't say it. Hold on, guys. We'll be back in a second. I think y'all can't see us right now. Anyway, but you should be able to hear us. We'll be right back. Hold on.
For Ghost.
welcome back, everyone. Sorry for that. Zoom's haunted. I think Zoom is having some issues because of the new transcript services is kind of like fucking things up right now. We're gonna try to keep it rolling. If not, then we'll have to kill it. But anyway, you were asking for a description.
Yes.
She said
He was very pretty and blonde.
She said he had like really nice hair, like I wish I could get that kind of volume, or I could have gotten that kind of volume with like long blonde, like almost like golden hair, and he was tan, like really tan, and I think he was wearing, or I thought he was wearing, colored contacts because his eyes were gold too.
Right. That's real helpful. Sounds like we could probably pick him out of a crowd, so that's good.
Yeah. He said he
Is
went
there-
to the club a lot. He said he was. I got the impression that he spent a lot of time there.
All right. Maybe we'll be able to track him down then.
There was one other thing.
Yeah.
When we were hanging out after an hour or so, a woman showed up, pretty young, like must have been like early 20s. And he went to talk to her, and I couldn't hear what they said. It was loud, and they moved to the other side of the room. And I got kind of worried for a bit because I thought she was like his girlfriend or something, because she seemed real angry with him. But then she left. I asked who she was, and he didn't tell me. He said she was a friend.
Did you hear anything she said?
No, not really. But like I said, she was young. She also had blonde hair, not like his, but yeah, she was just she was pretty, but like wouldn't stand out, you know. Dressed kind of simple, jeans and a button down, like, yeah. But I don't know who she was. He wouldn't tell me, but she seemed important, and he seemed kind of nervous about her.
She seemed important because he was nervous, or did anyone else act like she was important?
Yeah, a couple of his friends they had been kind of rowdy, and they got real quiet when she came in.
That's real helpful. Is there anything else you can think of? About that night? Any other people there?
No, that was basically it. That was the only thing that really struck me as odd the whole night.
All right. Like I said, this is real helpful. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take the necklace and take it to a friend of Tony's and see if they can look at it, see what might be going on. And once we have an idea, either we'll return it to you and it's yours, or we'll smash it with a hammer and hopefully it solves everything, all right?
Right. I hope that works.
All right.
Thank you.
If anything else pops up, I got my card here. You can call me. And we'll go from there, all right?
The card kind of is almost enveloped in the darkness and disappears from your hand. And yeah, thanks. I mean,
All right.
thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
If there are no other questions, the three of you head out of the room. Bruno pops his head and says, Donna, if you need anything else, just give us a holler, alright? Closes the door. As the four of you are walking down the stairs, Bruno kind of over his shoulder says, I really hope you can help her.
I hope so too.
Well, we'll take the kid in, as he motions towards Fisher. Give him a place to stay, give him the talk, get him sorted out. Luckily, he might be able to go back and live his old life once he gets this under control. Donna ain't so lucky. So,
Yeah.
y'all find the sons of bitches that did this.
That's the idea.
Well then, if you need any help, just holler.
Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna give. I don't know who I'd give individually to. I think I'll give it to Queenie because you kind of led the situation. You can take a debt with Bruno.
Ooh.
You're helping, as long as you're helping out the people here, he owes you a debt.
Alright.
All right, where's our next stop?
Well, about that. Hey, Val, I have a beginning a game move.
Oh, fuck.
Oh shit.
Yep. Which we didn't even get to last time, because technically speaking, I still need to learn the secrets of a powerful NPC from last time. Which might come up today, who knows? But I have a beginning a game move called Business as Usual.
Okay.
At the start of the game, roll with mine. On a hit, my usual operations provide an opportunity to advance or generate a new scheme. On a 10 plus, I get something extra.
Okay, go and roll it.
That's a 9. So that's a hit.
Okay.
I'd like to, I guess, advance my current scheme?
Okay. What was your current scheme?
It involves moving otherworldly creatures.
Right. You were talking about trying to help some of the people here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're at the halfway house. A lot of people that have been exposed to the supernatural end up embroiled in it. New people that either have become members of Night Power or something, usually members of Night. They end up here because they can't go back to their normal lives. So this connection with Bruno and Clarice will give you a good source of clients.
Cool. So let's see. Well, and this all makes sense with kind of our talk with Donna. Complication. Promise someone involved something I don't yet have. We don't yet have news about how the hell this happened to her or why. And I need to wait for a predetermined time or event. Well, we've still got to go over to the club and chat with folks.
Okay.
Is that fair?
That's fair.
Cool. And my extra from last time was that a loyal customer reveals the secrets of a powerful NPC of my choice. So maybe once the scheme is complete.
Yeah. Maybe we don't necessarily have to play it out right now, but you can begin the works of, like, I mean, especially getting Donna somewhere safe, along with anyone else that might be mixed up in this that haven't kind of come to the surface yet. Getting them somewhere safe. But, I mean, Bruno would tell you, and I think it's pretty self-evident that unless the source of this is dealt with, it's gonna be a problem. But given that he owes you a debt, I mean, I would say you can hold on to that, and you could definitely cash in that debt to get his help with this scheme. So cool, awesome, tying it all together. I like that. Alrighty.
And I'll think about this NPC in a second.
Okay.
Maybe once we find some more news at the club, I can call that favor in.
Yeah, I definitely think that'll come into play.
Cool.
Okay, so where are you going now?
Well, I should probably get these artifacts to my colleague, which means I need to go and pick up her brother, which means I should probably go back to my place and get my car.
I have the Buckingham.
Yeah, it's also an option, but sounds like the Parkers might be interested in this young man, and I don't know if you want to potentially deal with the Parkers taking an interest in offense to the Buckingham getting involved.
Plenty of people have taken offense and worse to the Buckingham getting involved. Hasn't fucking stopped me yet, so. Now, I'm not saying I'll do this out of the goodness of my heart, but seems like it'll be a little bit faster for our services, so let's just say you owe me.
So, brief table talk, because in the interest of like speeding things along, it makes sense to do this, but Tony is very much like, that's not worth it. I'll walk back to my place if I need to. He is not about getting the debts. And so I'm not sure how to proceed here.
It's your
I
call.
do have a car as part of my gear.
Same.
Same.
We've been taking the Buckingham around everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
fair.
actually, Riley's car would probably be here. That makes sense
yeah?
in narrative. Because Riley had to get here somehow.
Took the bus.
Yeah, I mean, you could have taken the DART here, which is the Dallas Area Rapid Transport train. So
I got the
you
company car on me if you want to
Yeah.
ride along.
That would probably be better.
All right. I'm just saying, we gotta get to this club and soon.
Yeah.
And if we've gotta waste time with you chasing some young kid around, making sure the Parkers don't fucking kill him, well, that eats into our time.
Well, we can split up. Once Riley drops me back at my place, I can deal with this, inform you of what happens with the artifacts, and you two can make your way over to the club.
Fine. Just remember, I offered.
I'm already beholden to too many.
Being
You got-
beholden's fun sometimes.
Only off the clock.
Yes, well, we know your tendency to be beholden off the clock, Tony.
Y'all need a minute because I think they might have rooms up in the halfway house that are still for rent. If y'all,
Ugh,
Just
as
walking
if,
fast.
child. Let's go.
Okay, you all get into Riley's car, go to drop Tony off at Tony's apartment, and
Yeah,
then
which
Riley
is
and
probably a high-rise downtown. I have what's the wording? A luxury apartment or something?
Ooh,
A
okay.
luxurious apartment. So I think he has like maybe not a penthouse, but certainly like a corner suite
Yeah.
in one of the rich places downtown.
Is this a god gift or is this something that you had
It's just
prior?
from the Sworn.
Yeah, I'm just curious if you're.
Yeah, it's probably something that he has gotten from. Maybe not like directly like, hey, here's an apartment, but just in service to them, he has gotten enough to be able to easily afford this.
Okay. I was curious whether Tony's luxurious lifestyle was prior, like he was a like a day trader.
No, I don't think
this.
he was that successful in the corporate world previously.
Just traded for a different corporate world, the supernatural corporate world.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had so we'll skip through the travel montage stuff.
Yeah.
What kind of car is so Riley? I assume if this is a company car, this is what, like a.
It's like a Toyota Corolla from like 2001.
Okay, this would not be a company car if it was a 2001.
1999.
It would be
No, you're
nicer.
going older. I'd say it'd be nicer than that. if it
Older,
was a
okay.
company car.
No one told him. Here's a beater.
It'd be like maybe like a 2015, but it could be an old, like, I'm fine with it being an older car if you wanted to.
I have a used car as part of my gear.
Okay, yeah. Used can mean a lot of things, and I think in this case, if you want to flavor it as this is a car that the brokerage has supplied to you, that you can, yeah. I mean, it'd be a mid-sized sedan. Toyota Corolla works. Something not newest model, but a couple years old. So, not going to turn any heads with it. Okay, great. And I imagine Tony, do you have a fancy car too?
A fancy car.
What kind
Now,
of car?
Alex doesn't know enough about cars.
I
but
guess
it
is this like a sports car or like a luxury sedan or like a
Or fucking
pickup?
Tesla or
'Cause
fuck Tesla.
You are in Texas, and most of the big business people in Texas drive like Ford F-250s and stuff. But
So it's probably like
a luxury pickup.
I'm thinking probably like a fancy SUV of some kind.
like an Escalade.
Sure, yeah.
Caddy Escalade, Jesus.
Perfect. Okay. So you're dropped off. Riley and Queenie heading to the Siren, and Tony heading to the. I guess you're heading over to Tara's brother's place. Did I give you the name for him last time?
Dale.
Dale. Okay.
You did say kid brother, which could just mean younger, could also mean he is like actually a child.
No, he's not a child. He's got his own place. His kid
Okay.
brother isn't. It's a euphemism. Not euphemism. What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, he's just younger.
Thesaurus.com. It's the
Fresh.
Thursday slot.
But
Thesaurus
yeah,
Thursdays.
he's a couple years younger. Early 20s. Let's start with Tony. So you hop in your Escalade, go cruising down across town. Dale does not live in anywhere near your apartment building, but he does live in the metro area. You head south a bit to kind of through like the college housing kind of apartments to an area that's just a little bit older. More like working folk live in this district. There are a couple of homes tucked between these old brick apartment buildings, and following your car's GPS, you come to the address that Tara gave you. You park across the street by the meter and look across to the building that is currently a lot of the lights currently on, some of them dark. There's a few people on the sidewalk out front smoking a cigarette and having a conversation. A few cars parked on the street. Fairly quiet though.
Before I get out, I would like to just kind of view the situation, see if there's anyone that's like very clearly staking things out.
Yes, you can do that. Let's see. There's not a read a situation move.
I don't know. I do have some, or I guess I have something. When you read a charged situation, roll with mind, and then I can ask some questions based on that.
Yeah. What are the kind of questions that it asks, just to make sure this fits? Because there's also study a place of power, which does apply to gathering spots.
Yeah. So the questions it has here: where's my escape route / way in / way past? Which enemy is most vulnerable to me? What should I be on the lookout for? What's my enemy's true position? Who here can't be trusted?
Oh yeah. Okay. That's perfect. Let's do that.
Okay, so roll with mine. Okay, that is a 9.
Okay. How many questions do you get?
I get 1, and I do get +1 when I act on the answers.
Okay, cool.
So I think in this case, I will ask, what's my enemy's true position?
Okay. So you kind of standing on the other side of the street, like begin to slowly walk across. No cars currently passing. So you head up to the building, very calmly taking a look around. First eyeing the people that are standing out front having a smoke. You look them over though, and none of them currently carry any weapons or anything. They don't really strike you. But you do glance down the street, and there is a car, a very nondescript, like a Lincoln, that is parked there. It's a little bit nicer than the other cars currently parked on the street, and has dark tinted windows. But what catches you about is it's currently idling there, engine running, lights currently off, but you do hear the engine from here, from your position, and they're just idling there, a few spaces down from the entrance of the building. That catches you as suspicious.
Yeah. So, finishes the casual glance, acts like he didn't, just, mark it, and continues on to the building, buzzes for Dale.
Okay, yeah, you buzz the room or the apartment number, and it's quiet at first. Buzz again. Finally, someone picks up and says, "Who's this?"
This is Anthony's Adrift. I'm a friend of your sister Tara's. She asked me to come and collect you.
Oh shit, I told her I didn't need any help.
Based on the car that is waiting for you outside, you do need my help, I assure you. Let
What
me
car?
in and we can figure this out.
Did you see anyone in that car?
The windows are tinted, but I imagine they are here for you.
Shit. All right, come up. Buzzes, door unlocks.
I make sure the door closes behind me, and then continue up.
You get to his apartment, knock on the door. You hear the chain unlatch as he opens it, and yeah, you see. Did you have anything in mind for Tara? I know you kind of made her up last time. Do you have anything in mind for who she is?
I imagine she was an archaeologist who stumbled on like an actual magic thing and got into the world that way.
But human, and
Yeah.
so okay.
I think that's a lot of how my group operates. Is the gods pick humans and then like grant them boons and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, you see a kid, essentially early 20s. He's got a very nervous look about him, as every NPC that I've introduced to you all tonight has. And he is currently wearing like sweats, sneakers. He's got a baggy t-shirt on, and he's motions to you, comes and says, come on, and looks up and down the hall, shuts the door, locks the deadbolt and chain. All right. I had to grab my stuff. You're taking me to Terror?
Yep.
Okay. What are you gonna do about the guys outside?
Hopefully we'll just evade them, but if need be, you have my word, I will protect you.
He kind of like looks you over. He says, "You packing heat?"
I think Tony considers for a moment, but then just like pulls his jacket aside and reveals that yes, he does have a Beretta.
All right, good, because they're gonna have guns too. So, okay. And heads over, like grabs a couple things, shoving in the bag, looking around the room, like grabs his wallet, his phone, keys. After a few seconds, is back to the front, or the foyer front entrance with you. Says, "All right, let's go."
Before we got there, what ask, is there a back entrance or a back exit we could go through to like an alley behind the building instead?
You're asking him this?
Yep.
Yeah, there's an alley back where we take the trash. Let's out on the side street around the corner.
That may be a better option, as they are very clearly positioned to watch the front door. Now, I did park by the front door, but we can walk around. Perhaps they might not notice if they are so focused on the front entrance.
All right. Back door. Okay, gotcha. Okay. So, anything else before you head out back?
Tony will stick his head out first, scout things out, and basically just as we are. The plan is to get to the car, very casually, but also trying to like. Tony will always position himself between Dale and where he knows the car will be. Hopefully, trying to hide him because Tony's a tall guy. I don't know how tall Dale is.
He's not very tall. Maybe like 5'8".
Yep. But so is going to, start simple and just like, oh, maybe I can just hide him with my body, but is ready for things to go south.
Okay, I'm gonna have you roll to keep your cool.
Okay. That is with spirit. We say I can use the +1 to act from acting on the answers. Is the question I did before.
Yeah, definitely, because you know where they are, you know what to look out for. This definitely be acting on that.
Okay. Figuring out roll and how to add the +1. There we go.
Oh yeah.
I got it. Okay, that's a 10.
Nice. Okay, so a 10 plus, all's well. Okay, so you head around the side of the building. You kind of head across the street, trying to take the most circuitous route around before coming down the sidewalk on the other side towards your car. You can see the Lincoln still idling across the street as you approach. Tony getting a bit nervous as you are getting closer and trying to kind of hide himself behind you, keeping his head down. Doesn't want to be seen. And Yeah, you
Big
make
Tony
it to the,
gave Dale his cowboy hat to try and
Okay.
hide him.
you give him the hat. It doesn't exactly match his outfit, but he gets the point across. He kind of like pulls the brim down, hides himself a bit. You get to the car, and he pulls open like the back door on the curb side and kind of climbs in, throwing his backpack in. You get into the driver's seat, and you start the engine, begin to pull out. As you pull onto the road, you hit the end of the block, stopping at the stop sign. And I am going to say for the move I'm going to make here is you did make it to the car cleanly without them noticing, but for whatever reason, the headlights on the Lincoln flash on, and the car pulls out behind you.
I clock it in the mirror and just tell Dale, stay calm. I'll handle this.
Do you keep driving?
Yes, and not gonna start driving directly there. Is gonna drive regularly for a few blocks, makes turns, see if they are matching the turns. And if they are, Tony's gonna start doing the tactic of acting like a confused tourist and like clicker for left, and then like, oh wait, I'm turning right, and like is going. Hold on, let me just check my vows real fast.
Am I allowed to turn? Am I
Break
allowed
traffic
to do
laws.
break traffic laws?
I
No
think I
break
can,
laws.
as long as I don't cause like traffic accidents, because that might be collateral damage.
Perfect. I think this sounds like a mislead, distract, or trick roll. Where you
Okay.
hit all the basic moves in this.
Yep. Just double check. I don't think I have something specifically for that. That's fine, because it's mine, which is what I'm good at. Okay, that's an 8.
8. Okay. So you get to pick 2 from the list.
I definitely confuse them for some time. And I think I'll go with avoid further entanglement.
Okay. Yeah, I think what happens is there's a I've got to do this because I need this to happen at least once. I don't know if it's going to happen again. I think what happens is because it's a mixed success, you do that where like, you know, there are a couple times where like you do like the right turn signal, and then you turn left and you see them with the right turn signal on, and like lurch to get over and like make the turn as well. They're not trying to be subtle and following you, and then you hit a point where you're about to go through, like driving way under the speed limit, getting to the point in the intersection where like there's a light that's turning yellow, and then you accelerate to go through the intersection. They try to accelerate behind you to follow, get halfway through the intersection, and another car comes streaking through and clips them on their fender, and you hear the smashing of metal together. Not like a terrible car accident. Everyone seems to be fine. As you're driving off, you see one of the driver of the car that was coming through the intersection, like get out and start yelling and stuff. And you see somebody get out, you can't make out any details on them, get out of the Lincoln that was following you, staring down the road in your direction, and then looking back towards the driver as they begin to get into this exchange. So you definitely avoid further entanglement, and you have confused them for some time as they're dealing with this situation. But I'm gonna say you just feel this like slight burning in the pit of your stomach as this happens, knowing that probably wasn't the best move, and I think you are going to mark a point of corruption. Oh, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Okay, marked. I don't know if maybe the sworn sheet says this, but like now that I have broken that vow, would I mark corruption if I break it again, or is it like, oh, that vow's broken, I don't have to worry about it?
No, I think
anymore?
it's any time you break any of those vows, because I think it's It's not just like a one and done
'Cause
thing.
I think there is something like if you break all your vows, you have to change playbooks.
Interesting. So maybe you mark that one that you have broken it. I think it makes sense that you could, if you kept breaking that same vow, that you'd still be punished for it as long and up until you break all of your vows. Because you have like two different things, right, between vows and oaths.
Okay, so when you break one of your vows, mark corruption. When you take a corruption advance, cross out one of your vows. It no longer binds you. Okay, so it's kind of like the Doom track from Masks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that seems really extreme. Like you get 5 shots, and if you break all 5,
5 strikes, you're out.
Yeah.
Okay, but I have marked corruption.
Okay. And as like Dale's looking over the sea, he's going, oh shit. You're driving off. Are you heading back to you heading to the club now? Or no, you're heading to Terra's. That's right.
Yeah.
All right. And you head across town towards Terra's. Let's go back to, before we take our break, let's go to Queenie and Riley. The two of you in Riley's Toyota Corolla pull up outside the Siren. I think I have music for this. I think that's coming through. All right. You see the Siren nightclub ahead of you as you pull up into the lot across the street. It is a sleek, modern looking nightclub, very like a big piece of like stainless steel, like rectangular piece of metal over the like whole perimeter of the building, and just etched into it in this cursive font, it says the Siren. The cursive font kind of refracting and glowing from the projected lights that are flashing up from the sides of the building, and you can hear that thumping of the bass from outside. There's a small line, not very long, only like 5 or 10 people right now lined up to get in from outside, as it is a I think we're on like a weeknight. I don't think I gave y'all a specific night, specific day, but I don't think it's a Friday or a Saturday right now. So a couple people lined up to get there, not a huge crowd.
Queenie doesn't wait in line. That is not a thing that Queenie does.
Okay.
Riley's in the back of his car, swapping out his windbreaker for like a blazer.
Do you live in here, darling?
I mean, shuts the trunk before she can take a look inside. No. I go to my apartment sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What? It's mostly with work and being on call all the time. I just don't...
Yeah, work, on call. What the hell are you even doing here?
What do you mean, here? Like...
I told you all this was bad news.
Well, blame... You could take your complaint up to HR. They're the ones who hired me.
Yeah, they hired you. Of course they hired you. You're a pretty little face and you can talk to people. I told you to get out of this business.
It's kind of hard to get out of the business when the business keeps finding you, Queenie.
Let me do the talking, all right?
Fine.
Come on.
All right, you walk straight past the line to the bouncer up front, and as you reach the bouncer, she sort of stops and like holds out a hand to you from the stool that she's like half sitting on there. She's collecting the entrance fees to those that are going in. It says, "Now I'm gonna have to ask you nicely to move to the back of the line with everyone else.
And I'm gonna have to ask you very nicely, darling, to let me in because I don't wait in line."
Just because you're wearing a crown doesn't mean I want to treat you like a princess, darling.
Fair enough. Pulls a $100 bill out of her tits. This might help, though.
I'm gonna have you roll heart here.
Well, if you're rolling harder, plus tits.
Plus tits.
Plus
so this
tits.
is gonna be I can't remember the name of the moves yet. Persuaded NPC.
Okay. That's an 11.
Damn. Okay. She looks at you, looks back to the line, and without looking back, takes the money, palms it. All right, hit him.
Thank you.
You see one of the people waiting lines. Seriously? Seriously, as you walk inside.
Hisses at them. It's terrifying. And then smiles and walks in.
They go immediately quiet as you push into the club, and as soon as you step through the glass front entryway to the siren, the bass hits harder. I mean, even for it being a weeknight, the crowd in here is pretty lively. Probably about 50 people just on the dance floor alone. Some at the bar, like crisscrossing laser displays refracting across the glass ceiling of the first floor. You can see like a balcony wrapping around the top floor and some like lounges up on the second story of the building where the VIP sections are. Everything is very dark in here with just that flashing light, thumping of the bass music, and brighter lights around the perimeter where the two bars are. What do you do?
I do have a move called the Lion's Den.
Ooh.
When you gain access to a secure sanctuary, gathering spot, or place of power, I can study it as if I rolled a plus 12. If the location is controlled by a circle other than my own, the MC will tell you what you need to do to get a debt on a powerful NPC within the circle.
Okay. So, this is a Mortalis club. You are Mortalis, right?
Yes.
Well, no, actually, no, this wouldn't be a Mortalis club because it's the LP owns it. So this would be a power. Look at my notes here. Yeah, power faction. So yeah, this would be a power. You know that this is the circle of power controls this. It was in the brief, so that's information that is available to you. The actual owner of the club, the manager of it, is Mortalis. But you would have suspicions that there might be some people in the VIP sections that might rub elbows with or be members of the Circle of Power as well. So I have to tell you a way that you could potentially gain a debt from them.
Yes.
Okay. The publicity or potential publicity of this disruption, this kind of coming back on these I won't call it infection, what would you call it? The curses, what you've been seeing, has not made it back to being associated with this club yet. That's what you are investigating right now at the brokerage. If that information were to get back, this club's reputation would be ruined. So there are a couple ways you could potentially leverage that information to gain a debt from some of the important people here who have a vested interest in this club. I'll leave it open-ended like that, but
Okay.
I think that gives you enough.
Riley will follow Queenie's lead, but he'll point out, well, if anything, we should try to get our hands on a way to get into the VIP room. Looks like that's where Donna got marked.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, I can consider this off the clock for the time being. Drinks.
Will they even serve you here?
I am 25 years old, ma'am.
Oh, yes, of course. Such an adult. Fine. Whiskey. The good stuff. Nothing in the well.
All right. Orders a nice whiskey neat and a blue moon for himself.
The bartender grabs your drinks, slides them. The whiskey probably costs as much as a case of the beer that you're drinking would. As she slides both those drinks in front of you at the bar.
By the by, I'm looking for Xander.
The bartender looks up. Early 30s woman with black hair pulled back in a ponytail, stay out her face. All the bartenders, servers here wearing like plain black uniforms, black t-shirts and pants. And she looks up and she says, "I'm sorry, huh? What were you saying?"
I was wondering if you knew anybody by the name of Xander. I'm looking for him.
Xander?
Yeah, ma'am.
I don't know. Maybe.
Blonde fella, kind of tan. Comes here often. Has these piercing golden eyes.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Now, I've seen him heading upstairs a couple times, but I don't know him personally.
All right. Tips her. Walks.
Should be here though. He usually comes in around opening, stays pretty much till close.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Yeah, you're welcome.
Tips her. Heads back to Queenie. It looks like Xander heads upstairs.
Fucking of course he does.
Your
All
drink,
right.
milady.
Thank you. Doable. All right. Well, we head upstairs then. I have a move that I could use, but only if I think I see anyone of note. Could I survey the area?
Yeah. Why don't you? This is probably the easiest way to do it.
Okay.
I think this would be a circle move. I'm gonna have you put a name to a face.
Perfect. Okay.
This will be a power roll.
Oof. Okay. Straight roll. Not good. Unless someone wants to help me.
I'm in this scene. Bump it to a 7. Or I have to roll, correct?
You have to roll to help.
What am I rolling? Sorry.
I think there's a help mechanic in this, isn't there?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Oh yeah.
So I know you can help or hinder, and it gives them a +1 or -1 depending.
Yeah, I'm looking in the moves list here. You can interfere in somebody's business with death. Oh yeah, you can lend a hand. So you can do them a favor. You could spend a debt to help. So if Queenie cashes in on one of her debts, you can help her.
I'm okay with that. Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Look around and tell me who I need to know. You owe me.
I don't think that's how that works.
Oh,
Begins
okay.
to
No, I
spin.
found it. Lend a hand or get in their way. Okay. So you don't have to spend a debt. If he doesn't want to do it, you can spend a debt to try to force him to.
Okay.
Here it is. Lend a hand and get in the way after a PC has rolled. Roll with their circle. So, Riley, you have to roll with wild, is what Queenie is?
Yes.
Okay. Straight roll. 9.
Okay. On a hit, give them a +1 or a -2.
+1.
Thank you.
I'm not a stinky bastard man this time around.
This time.
You're also going to expose yourself to danger, entanglement, or cost. Because of this. What was your result, Queenie? With the +1?
A 6, so it'd be a 7. So it's a hit.
All right.
Next.
In your face. On a hit, you know the reputation. MC will tell you what most people know about them.
So if I know anybody, if we end up running into anybody status 2 or higher, then I have a move.
Okay. You don't necessarily run into them, but you do
I see them.
You do see
Clock
them
'em.
as you're kind of surveying the VIP section above you. There are a couple of these like segmented like lounge areas with like these half walls in between them to give the people there a little more privacy. And as you look up, some of them are shrouded, like pretty dark up there, you can't see, but you do notice one person who is currently leaning on one of the railings, like half sitting on it. They look down, or she looks down towards the crowd, or the crowd below a little bit, and then looks back up like she's mid-conversation with somebody else, holding like an e-cig in her hands, and some of the light refracting around through the cloud of vapor around her. And you see her and you immediately kind of have this oh shit moment, because that is Coraline Desir, the leader of the LP, and effectively the owner of this nightclub.
Okay, would you say Coraline's at least a status 2 NPC?
She'd be a status 3.
Cool. Okay.
I think is the
so
max.
I have a fun, yeah, that's max. I have a fun move called Friends in Low Places. So when you get a hit while putting a face to a name with a status 2+ NPC, you also get to name a low-level minion or assistant who works for them and describe how this underling recently came to owe you a debt.
Okay. So who I assume you see someone coming down the stairs from the VIP section and make their way through the rope, the bouncer letting them pass, as they quickly pull
Grabbing a
up
bottle
phone.
of Cristal or something to head back upstairs.
Yeah, actually, I think they're stepping outside. They're like stepping out to like a quieter section near the front to make a phone call. Who is this?
This is Francisco Natal. And Francisco got into a little bit of trouble with some ghouls recently. Had some friends, lost some friends, also had some friends get real fucked up. And had to call Queenie to clean that shit up. This was so extreme that even Queenie was like, this is a lot, so she did it without saying anything for a favor.
All right. Do you approach Francisco?
Oh, yeah.
You approach, stand behind him, kind of like clocks you out of the corner of his eye for a second, but doesn't really look yet. It's just on the fence. Like, yes, I know. We're working on it. They're a little busy right now. And looks over towards you. Oh, fuck me. No, not you. And that's where we're going to take our break. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, a few minutes. We're going to go refresh, give everybody watching a chance to stretch their legs, unclench your jaw, stretch your shoulders, drink some water, whatever you might need to do. And we will see everybody back here in a few minutes to continue our session. So stay tuned, everyone, and we will see you very soon. I'm muted on I was muted in OBS and not on Zoom. My mute's got off. Hello everyone. We're having some technical difficulties here today on GGK. Zoom is haunted. And
always has been.
I had to ditch the web captioner. I'm gonna have to run an update on it or something because unfortunately it does not cooperate. So we're gonna figure it out. It's still very early, so hopefully they fix it soon. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and jump right back into it with Tony. Tony, you pull up in your Escalade, your nice car, to a much nicer area of town with Dale in the back seat, near where, or at the complex that Tara lives at. I think she has like a condo, that is maybe not too far away from where you live. She also works with the with your organization, so would probably be very well compensated as well. We'll just skip to you buzzing her up to the to her floor, and as you step out into her in her condo, she comes like around the corner. She's got it's late. She's wearing like her her evening wear as like a robe pulled over. Sees Dale kind of hunched up, backpack over his shoulders, coming out of the apartment, and goes immediately up to him, hands on his shoulders, like looking him over. Oh, you look fine. It's good to see you too. Right. Go sit down over there.
Before he goes, I take my cowboy hat back.
You take it back as he walks away. He goes, oh man, I wanted that. Goes over, like plops down on the couch, immediately like feet up on the coffee table, and clicks on the TV. And she goes, feet down, feet down. Boots back down, or sneakers back down on the floor. Thanks, Tony.
Tara, happy to help.
Right. You get some stuff you want me to look at?
Indeed, I actually found another trinket for you to look at. So, 2 people have gone to a new club in town, come away with these trinkets, and then had weird stuff start happening to them.
Alright, I can take a look. I guess I agreed to the one. Might as well look at both while you're here.
And we'll be like, watch Death Prophecies and Necklace Shadow Entity.
She takes them from you and says, all right, coming this way. He's going to blast the TV over there, so let's go look in the kitchen. walks like around the corner. This very like open floor plan condo, but there's like a slight kind of half wall in the center around the corner of the kitchen, and flicks on the light. She says, if you want some coffee, it's a bit cold probably at this point, but it's right over there.
He'll go and take some.
And she sits down on a bar stool, places them on the counter, takes out a small, like, almost like a jeweler's lens, starts to look them over very closely, turning them, starts at the watch, looks at the back. Right. I see what you're looking at here. It's definitely cursed. Huh.
Do I need to worry having handled then?
Nah, looks like this thing's already blown its load. Not gonna curse anyone else. Also, just realized the overlay got fucked up when we reset, so now everybody's in the wrong spot. So let me just fix that like super duper quick. There we go. No, this thing's already spent. Best I can tell, this is some sort of delivery system. Well, the room's not going to tell me much, because it looks like this thing's more of a more like a receptacle. Hold on, let me look at the other one. She pulls that one over, begins to flip it around. Same jeweler's lens inspection. Takes her a bit longer on this one until she sets the gem, sets it down. Says, "Here, take a look at this." Holds the lens up for you.
Over to check it out.
As you look at it, she focuses the lens, and you look down at the leaf and see a very similar rune that is sort of engraved on or printed on this leaf in a very it's very dark, very hard to see against the purple of the leaf's color. And she says, "This one's a bit more subtle, but yeah, same thing there." Sits back. Well, best I can tell you, he's from looking over both of these, is that there's some sort of, I guess you call them arcane storage devices. You could, like a USB drive, except instead of pure data, you put some sort of nasty enchantment or spell or something in it. Hard. You said the people. What happened to the people that were that had these? Got hit by it.
Well, like I said, they were both mortal. Well, I suppose there's a third, but they are deceased, and so we're still figuring that one out. That is correct, because there was one who went berserk, and we were told they didn't make it.
Yeah, one died, two still alive.
Yep. Okay, so young man who found the watch at the bar woke up and started having nightmares. Turned out to be death visions of others. Also started sleepwalking. The young lady who was given that necklace by was given the name Xander. Had a hangover and a migraine, light sensitivity, and after a day or two became made of shadows. And the third, who was deceased, apparently went into some kind of berserker frenzy.
Well, that is weird. Well, I can't say for certain, but kind of looks over back towards Dale. She says, "Sounds like some kind of wild magic, like old, like chaos magic, like sort of dawn of creation kind of stuff, you know. Not many people can wield shit like that. Most people kind of turns around on, fucks them right up in the process.
So what kind of people would be able to use this?
Well, I'd say you're dealing with someone who's been around the block. Definitely someone connected. You need a lot of resources to get this kind of stuff. Most pure, like, chaos magics are pretty heavily regulated these days. Hard to get across borders. And the sources are hard to find.
So why would someone be using such powerful magics and do that like this and cursing mortals?
I don't know. I mean, most people use magic like this, you know, as weapons. I mean, you can create some pretty nasty stuff with this kind of thing. I mean, they're using pretty small amounts. These little doohickeys probably couldn't carry more than enough to fuck with one person, but if they've got enough to be handing them out left and right, they could. That's basically like a bomb. They probably have access to somewhere. You could set something like that off on a crowded city block. I mean, everyone there would be fucked up. You'd have half monsters running around left and right. People going berserk, ending up like these poor folks.
That is obviously something we can't allow to happen, particularly given that the nightclub in question that connects all the victims is the Siren, owned and operated by the LP and signed off by the Vicario.
Well, if these sort of things are being handed out in an LP nightclub, I mean, my first thought would be that the LP are dealing something in the morals there, but that don't right make sense to me because, well, if they were dealing magic, they wouldn't be dealing magic like this. Given what's happened, well, I guess it'd be someone trying to make the LP look bad. And boy, they'd be pissed if they found out that people were giving out shit and doing this kind of stuff on their turf.
I don't suppose you are familiar with this Xander. Give her a brief description.
Nah, don't ring a bell.
Does anything about that like fit in any kind of archetype of supernatural creatures? Like, I know as a player, my first thought was, oh, super pretty, you know, probably an incubus, but could be anything. I don't know if those rules apply in here.
I'm kind of going for y'all's benefit, so you don't spend too much time spinning your wheels on that. I'm, as far as NPCs and stuff go, they're not going to fall into like a specific archetype with like the playbooks and stuff.
Yeah.
Like your boss, the broker and stuff, she was a dragon. Like I'm kind of going off book with that as far as the type of monsters that are in the world here, and I think there are just so many that just from that sort of like a sort of base descriptor like that, like there would be so many that could fit into it specifically, and sort of categorizing people by the type of monster almost like doesn't make a lot of sense unless you're like one of the very populated ones like vampires and werewolves and stuff. Otherwise it's they're pretty one of a kind.
Gotcha. Okay. let's put a pin on who could be doing this. Do you know of a way to reverse the effects?
Well, there's there are a couple ways I can think of. I mean, essentially, what you're dealing with here is like, well, I guess it's somewhere between an infection and radiation poisoning. You know, this magic, it's all the same. Like whatever the source is, like they're probably using the same thing, but the way that it impacts people is different. But the way that you'd fix it, based on my knowledge, I'd have to have a sample of whatever it is they're using. If I had some of the one of these items before it got expanded, or knew where they were getting this source from, I could probably work out a way to turn them back. But time is kind of the essence with this. The longer they're like that, the more they're going to stay that. The harder it is to turn them back. I'd gather that the longest you could wait is probably about a month or so.
At least that is somewhat good news, given that these people have only been like this for a few days.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, if you could find whoever's doing this and get the source of it, I could probably work something up.
Just trying to figure out if I want to figure someone out, just to make sure she's on the up and up and is not like, hey, get me this chaos magic so I can be chaos magic. Maybe I'm getting too paranoid.
You're welcome to be as paranoid as you want.
Be paranoid.
Just because because of my legendary weapon, I get a bonus if I get a 12 plus on figure someone out.
Sure. So that's mind.
Yes. Okay, that's a 9.
Okay.
Okay, so on a hit, I ask 2 questions. On a 7 to 9, they ask 1 as well. And if they're in my circle, ask an additional question.
Okay, and she is in your circle, yeah.
Yes.
So you can ask 3.
Yeah. So I'll ask, what does your character worry is going to happen? Just to clarify, though, I feel like I have a fairly good sense of what she means with that, or what her answer would be.
Yeah, let's answer these in character, so we'll do that one first. So, well, if you want to ask it or figure out a frame, like how you're framing it.
So let's assume that no one's cooperative and this goes underground and unsolved and we're not able to put a cork in this. What's the worst case scenario? You said could be the whole city block. Could it be worse than that?
Honestly, my worst case scenario with this is that they don't just let it all go at once. I mean, tensions have been high for a while between the LP and the Vaquero. This deal that they had is one of the first signs of progress that we'd have for a long time. If someone's trying to fuck with that, I mean, it's gonna get bloody around here. So, yeah, I'm worried if y'all don't stop this, you know, figure out where it's coming from, things are gonna get a whole hell lot worse.
And so if me and my associates get you a bit of this, you're confident you could work up some kind of counter agent. And so that's me asking, what's your character hoping to get from blank?
So get from getting this getting a
Yeah.
sample. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll shoot straight with you that I'd like to help these people. You know, not everyone had a choice to get in this line of work, and well, if I have the chance to, I'll help them. But well, you're coming here and putting some pretty powerful magic at my feet here, and I've got my own debts to settle with our bosses. Figuring out this kind of stuff, delivering it to them. Well, I'll just be honest. They might rather have it for themselves than have us wasting it trying to turn these people back.
That certainly is a consideration. So do you know what your brother did to piss off the Parkers? And this is me kind of asking what's your character's beef with.
Right, Dale. You see him kind of like scrunched down underneath the on the other side of the couch. It says, "My brother's kind of an idiot. Way I understand it, he's been trying to get to our line of work here, and thought he'd cut his teeth by, well, selling some magical doohickeys of his own. They didn't exactly work as advertised, and he sold some to the wrong people. I don't know all the details, he'd have to explain it to you himself, but apparently one of them, what'd you say his name was? Grisham?" Dale from the other side of the couch goes, "Uh-huh. Yeah, Grisham. Apparently he's after him now. Should be safe here, at the very least. I mean, this place is warded. They're not coming in as long as he stays in my place, but I'm afraid I might have gotten you a little bit mixed up in all this. Hopefully they didn't clock you going to get him."
They did, but I can handle them if they decide they want to pursue that.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope maybe they've dropped this whole thing.
Certainly would be the preferable option, but I'm not above making a statement when needed.
Yeah. Well, watch yourself. Stay safe. Dude, I don't know if I can give you anything else here to help.
I don't suppose you could try and figure out something to help me locate the source of magic? I know it's asking an awful lot, but it would certainly help.
All right. Way I see it, you've done me a solid here. Help my brother out. I might have something that can help you. It might go a bit beyond what I owe you, though, for this little jaunt you've taken. So, all I'm going to ask is that you get any more work, that you hit me up first, alright?
Of course.
Okay. She gets up. She's going to take a debt from you for this. And she is going to head to kind of out of the kitchen, leaving you kind of in Dale in this vicinity right now. She's got the TV going. Comes back a few moments later and hands you a little like red velvet box. And she hands it over to you and says, "This will pick up anything. Well, it'll point out the strongest source of magical influence in about a block. So, you get close enough, this will show you the way." As you flip it open, it is a, those little, I want to say, they're like these little, the little like plastic balls with like the compass at the center, but it's like immersed in water, so it kind of is always pointing up. Yeah, it looks like one of those, essentially. And as you're holding it, you see it kind of spin slightly, and then like stop, pointing back to the room that she just came out of, and kind of like fixates there as you rotate it back and forth.
All right, and just to make sure I'm understanding in instruction manual and all that, this will just point to any magic, no way to differentiate the type, the flavor.
Unfortunately not, but if what you're looking for is what I think you're looking for, I can't imagine anything stronger that'll ping on it. So you get close enough, this thing will, well, hold on tight to it, I guess.
Greatly appreciate this, and I'll be sure to keep you informed if and when we get a sample.
All right. Well, good luck.
And if you'll excuse me, I've got to go clubbing. I have to get to the club where my other associates are.
Yeah, I picked up on that. Took me a second. All right, I'll show you the door. She walks through the door and over her shoulder she said, "Say bye, Dale." Dale just like waves an arm. You just hear, "Bye."
Stay out of trouble, young man.
Just waves again. And you head back to the elevator. You you get downstairs, back to the lobby, head out to the parking garage, and as you step out onto your floor of the parking garage, you see your car, and then you hear a voice coming from the side. "Well, I don't think I know who you are, but I'd like to know where you put the boy." And stepping out from behind one of the pillars in the parking garage, you see a very tall, very broadly built gentleman with a shaved head, and some very like tanned, almost sunburned looking skin, and he's got some tattoos running up that you can just barely peeking up over the collar of his shirt. He's wearing sort of almost like a dark blazer suit. He says, "That was a good stunt you pulled back there to lose us."
I take it you are Grisham?
One and only. You fucked up my car, right? I expect you to pay for that.
Well, for that I do sincerely apologize. If you can get me an estimate, I will be more than happy to pay the damages.
We'll call it square if you bring the boy in here. Go get him.
Well, Mr. Grisham, I'm afraid that's not on the table.
Well, I was kind of hoping you'd say that. And he pulls the jacket of his suit off, tosses it on the back of the car, and then you watch as, sort of extending out from his back, are a series of large tentacles as Grisham, the Kraken, moves in closer to you. And we're gonna come back to Riley in a minute.
Mean to Tony.
To Tony, not Riley.
I'm gonna swap us around on the.
Oh, are you guys still swapped out on the overlay?
Are we? Oh.
Yeah, you were. I fucked
Dang
it
it.
up.
It's okay.
You were
This is
right.
why
You were reading off the overlay, so
I was reading off
you know.
the overlay
Yeah.
still. As Tony. It's gonna get into a fight here soon. But let's I wanna do some more club stuff first, and we'll come back for that encounter.
No, I put that in chat before the tentacles thing came out. Okay, it was the tats. All right,
Sure.
and maybe she is. You don't know. She's been around a
No
while.
judgment.
Queenie, you've just confronted Francisco. He looks at you, hanging up the phone. What the fuck do you want?
You're gonna introduce me to your boss.
Oh, hell no. No, no, no.
Oh, hell yes.
Queenie, I know I owe you for that. You've been lording that over me for months now. But I cannot, I repeat, I cannot just introduce you.
Why not?
I don't even know where to start with that. Do you even really understand who my boss is?
Rattles off a bunch of shit that she knows about her.
Okay, fair. Yeah, fine. Do you know what she's gonna do to me if I just let some stranger off the street up into her private... She's not gonna be happy with me.
So you're the one that's in charge of the VIP room now. That's good to know.
No. I'm not in charge of it. Who are you? Looking to Riley.
I'm Riley. I'm Queenie's coworker. Listen, this is about business regarding the club in itself and its future. In its future.
What?
Do we have badges?
No,
Yeah.
No. Okay.
no.
Riley's
If he
reaching
reaches
his
for
wallet.
it, she puts
I'd say-
a very strong hand on his arm.
You do, but all that still applies.
Okay. Just like, ow.
Put it this way. Does your boss still want to have a club to run?
What are you getting at?
had some issues past couple days, past week. Some whispers of some problems with some mortals that have been hanging out around here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Of course you don't. And most other people don't either right now. But that's just right now. You want it to stay that way? Hell, you want the whole mess cleaned up. Then you want to introduce me to your fucking boss. Okay? I'm calling in that debt, Francisco.
Okay, fine. If I do this, I don't want to hear you say the word ghouls around me again.
Never even
In fact,
heard about it.
I don't want to see you again.
Gladly, darling.
So you're here to help with the thing. Please tell me you have something that this is real, that you're not just playing me here, that they're actually here to help with that. Because if that's the case, I can set this up. But if you get in there and you start laying on some bullshit, we're not gonna make it out of there alive, okay?
Grabs him a little more forcefully than probably necessary by the collar, pulls him in. I'm first and foremost a businesswoman, Francisco. If you remember anything about me, after tonight, when you hopefully, and you better hope it's gonna stay that way, never see me again, remember that, okay, Pumpkin?
Fine. Just wait here. I will be right back. Okay. And he heads back to the stairs leading up to the VIP lounges.
What?
Just remind me never to owe you anything.
Too late.
Francisco comes back a little bit later. Remind me, Riley, what's your thing right now that you've got floating around for your the thing you rolled for earlier?
No, I get a plus 12 to, where is it? Sorry.
Or you act as if you rolled a 12 plus with the...
If the location is controlled by a circle other than my own, and MC will tell you what you need to do to get debt on a powerful NPC.
Right, because I gave you that information before. Right, okay. I just want to make sure I didn't have anything floating around I need to do there, but you know how you could get a debt from them. Okay.
Yeah.
Francisco comes back down, grabs the two of you, says, "Follow me, please." Okay.
Thank you.
Leads you back up the stairs. You kind of go behind a lot of these like lounges, and again they're separated, but there's not really like a door between them. They're just like segmented. Most of them are empty. You do past one where you look in and you see a few people lounging around, and they're not facing you but looking away. You see a head of very luscious golden hair sitting at a table, currently in conversation with a woman sitting across from him. As you pass, heading to some of the other lounges, a few down, eventually arriving at the one where you saw, I need to remember, Coraline at before. Francisco leads you in. You see a few people, like 3 total in this room. Bottle of chilling champagne sitting on each of the tables, most of them unopened, one open currently with a few glasses poured, and still standing over by the railing, you see a very tall, thin woman in a I think she's wearing like a long like silver dress with like a long slit up the side, with short black hair, very angular features as she looks towards the three of you as you enter. Francisco just pouring flop sweat as he leads you in here. She addresses him, says, Francisco, these friends that you were telling me about. And Francisco says, yes, ma'am. I mean, yeah, not really friends. Well, acquaintances, yes. You do not need to keep fawning about. You may step out. We will discuss our business together in private. Yes, ma'am. But don't go far now. And he sort of freezes and then steps out, like moving just outside the room across the hall, and stands there just looking very nervous at how this conversation's going to go, especially now that he's not going to be able to listen in on it. She gestures with one very slender hand with very long pointed fingernails for the two of you to approach. Your names, please.
Queenie Tay.
Riley Fitzgerald, freely given.
And I will assume that you know who I am.
Your reputation precedes you, Mr. Sear.
I would certainly hope so. So, what is it that you are needing from me?
I would say, I think you may end up needing something from us this evening.
Ma'am, we are a third-party asset protection company. We've had some clients have some unforeseen accidents as they've come into your club.
What company do you represent?
Our own.
No, I do not believe this.
Really? You haven't heard of my establishment, the Buckingham? We're taking up a new line of business.
I'ma have
Can
you
I
roll
lie?
to mislead, distract, or trick.
It's a 7.
Okay. You picked 2 from the list.
Find basic moves again. Let's see. Let's confuse them for some time. I can. How many do I pick? 2.
2.
Confuse them for some time and create an opportunity.
Okay. All right. Then what is it that you want?
we would like to help you with this hiccup in operations.
How?
By finding who's doing this.
And what makes you believe that I do not already know?
Because if you did, you would have dealt with it. And seeing as I'm fairly certain I saw one of the possible perpetrators on my way up here, I'm gathering you haven't done that yet.
And who would this be?
And why would I tell you that right now?
I do not like these games.
Neither do I. I like to call it business.
Then tell me what it is you want from me.
Right now, nothing. Just the ability to continue to enjoy ourselves at your club. But maybe a little down the road, we might call in a favor.
I will propose a counteroffer. And you watch as her hands sort of begin to spark with this red lightning. And Queenie, you feel yourself begin to levitate off of the floor slightly.
Okay.
And she says, "You tell me now what you know, and I let you live."
How messy do we want to make this?
Ma'am, I want to level with you. As Queenie's levitating next to him.
She's been almost focused entirely on Queenie, and suddenly, and you speak up, and she just, like, her attention turns towards you. You see her eyes, like, sparking with this red lightning.
You may not let us out alive, but we do have friends in higher places, and they will come looking for us. The kickback of 2 members of this association going missing might not look good for you in the circles we run in.
And what association would this be? Because if this one is telling the truth, then I kill her, and the business is done.
He looks to Queenie, just apologetically. Well, I'm with the Red Ridge brokerage, or Red River brokerage. And we're here to make sure that there's no spillover, if you know what I mean.
You represent the brokerage,
Yeah.
and you are here to fix this complication.
Ma'am, there are 3 mortals out there who have been affected by things happening in your nightclub, one of which who's died. Of course I'm here to fix things.
I'm gonna have you roll to persuade an NPC.
Heart.
Yes. Wind. Fire.
Water. Oh my god. That's 13? No, 5, 6,
Yep,
11, 13.
13.
Yes.
13.
Damn.
negotiator.
Holy shit.
There's a long pause. This queen is still like sparking, like hovering in the air, and you feel like, again, like with the flick of a wrist, she could just send you sailing across the room. Brokerage. She closes her fist, and you drop about the foot that you were off the ground, landing on your feet. Well, why did you not say so sooner? We have a very good relationship with the brokerage.
I would hope to maintain that.
Well, I apologize for the misunderstanding then.
Just quietly mouthing sorry to Queenie.
So, brokers, how can I help you with your investigation?
Well, for one, I'd like access to your camera system to check anything out, but also I need information on the man inside, or whoever's inside your VIP lounge.
Alright. Both of these are amenable, or we can be amenable to. Dolly. She looks to the side, and you see one of the a woman sitting at the couch has been watching this entire exchange, wearing a black button-up and black pants, looking has been holding a pretty straight face throughout this whole encounter, but has looked very concerned for the outcome. She says, Dolly can help you here with any of the club's surveillance footage. She is the manager, as it is.
Is Dolly blonde?
No.
Okay.
No, she's a brunette. Has her hair up in a bun right now. Dolly can help you with this. As far as the private lounges here, if you wish to speak with anyone here, I provide you with the authority to do so.
Thank you.
I would only ask that you keep these conversations civil. Please.
As civil and confidential as we can.
Yes. I do not want any blood around here, especially with the mortals currently philandering about on the dance floor. Too much of a commotion might draw some attention.
Wouldn't want to panic at the disco.
This one is funny. You should let him do the talking. And she turns her back to you and looks over the railing again. You can go.
Riley stands, turns to Dolly, and nods his head.
Dolly gets up. The two of you kind of ushers you out to the exit. Says, y'all have a pretty good pair between you now, don't you?
Show us the fucking tapes, Dolly.
Yeah. Nice to meet you too. And she leads you back to the back room. Dolly, 100% homegrown human, does not want anything to do with any of this shit. She takes you to the quiet area in the back to look at the footage. Before we get to that, we have a situation to deal with. Do I want to go with this? I felt it has some good, yeah, we'll go with this for now. I don't think I have anything too like combat centered, but Tony, you see Grisham, these like thick, like greenish, like green bluish tentacles extending out from behind him, walking towards you as he like cracks his knuckles.
That's a neat trick, but you're not the only one with some tricks. And Tony will take off his hat and reach into it, and he's not actually pulling anything out of it. I'm making some assumptions based on my legendary weapon being anchored.
Okay.
I'm assuming you will understand this. It's basically like a shard blade, and so he can summon it and dismiss it at will, but makes it look like he's pulling his sword out of his cowboy hat.
Yes,
and it is a long sword, like 6 feet in length, ornate, mildly glowing.
So straight
jazz.
up a shard blade. Like,
Pretty much.
I love it.
Specifically, it's got a sword wielded by rightful kings. It's got 3 harm, wholly anchored
Okay.
as its tags.
He like stutters a little bit in his step as you pull out this sword and kind of like chuckles a little bit and says, "Old fashioned. I like that." The tentacles sort of like extend out and then whip towards you, like they're all sort of clapping towards you at once, like 8 massive whips. So unless you are avoiding violence here, if you are trying to strike him back, then we will turn to violence unless you have something else in mind.
Yes. So I'm just wondering, because one of my vows is never strike the first blow, is this already him striking the first blow?
This is him striking the first blow, yeah.
Okay.
He is instigating this.
Then
I'm giving this to you here, and
Yes.
that he is the instigator.
Very good. Then I will turn to violence.
All right. Turn to violence. You're going to roll with blood.
Only got a +1 to this, so it could go bad. That's a 10.
That's a 10. Okay. So, on a hit... Alright, so on a 10 plus, you get to choose one from the additional list. So on a hit, you inflict harm as established, so you said 3 harm?
Yep.
Alright. And your opposition chooses 1, so they can choose to inflict harm on you, to put you in a bad spot, or create an opening to flee. But on a 10 plus, you get to choose 1 from the list, which is to inflict terrible harm, to take something from them, or to create an opportunity.
Yeah.
For an ally.
So,
you don't have any allies
yeah.
here, so.
So I'm not sure which of those 2 options it would be, but I basically want to cut off as many of the tentacles as I can.
Okay. I say taking something. Essentially, you're disarming in a very literal sense.
Mhm.
Him. Okay. So that is 3 harm from you, and he is going to inflict 2 harm onto you.
So that's 1 into faint and then 1 into serious.
Yes.
Okay. So I don't believe I have any kind of armor.
Yeah, armor's pretty rare in this setting. But exchanges do not usually go on for more than 1 round. So here's what happens. 3 harm. For context, because it's the first time dealing harm. 2 harm is painful and obvious, is something akin to a gunshot wound, a bad car wreck, wounds that are impossible to hide without bandages or slings. 3 harm is like a bullet at point blank range, a sword cleaving tendon and bone. A beating that leaves you unrecognizable for a week. So I want you to kind of describe to me like how things turn out, like how this fight goes between the two of you.
Yep. So I think he's lunging forward with the tentacles. Tony still has the cowboy hat in one hand, kind of throws it in his face as a distraction. Ducks in low is already kind of like sweeping gestures, getting some of the tentacles, lopping bits of them off. Some of them get through and hit Tony as well, but is basically getting in very close with the sword, and like I said before, just trying to hack away all the tentacles, and I think probably ends this attack with like sword at his throat.
Okay, perfect. I like that. So with his, he chose to inflict harm on you with this.
Mhm.
So I think as you're slicing, there is one that just sort of like whips across your face for a moment. Like one of the 8 tentacles, before you're able to cut it off, gets in a good strike. You can feel like the bruise and like the swelling there. Like it's gonna be a shiner that you're gonna have to deal with, but nothing that is going to nothing that's going to cause you any immediate threat. And yeah, with one cleave, you cut off a couple of his tentacles there, and you hear him kind of roar in pain from that. And he staggers backwards from just the onslaught of this holy sword cutting through the air. And then as he is like the pain is flashing, he begins to lunge forward again. You see the remaining like 3 tentacles that are fully intact, because I don't think they were fully cut off. A lot of them are just like nubbins. And he begins to whip them forward, and the sword is just pointing it right at his throat, and he goes, fucking swords.
Now, I need assurances from you that you will leave the boy and his sister alone, or I will end you right here and right now.
Fuck. Fine. Boy ain't worth it anyway. Shit. You know how long these take to grow back? Damn it.
I don't know that that's my problem.
Sort of like flicks them off to the side. You see it like coiling back behind him, like a trail of blood across the concrete floor of the parking garage. All right. On my word, I'll leave the boy alone.
Is that enough in the supernatural community for me to believe him? Or do I need to roll?
You could, like, I mean, if you want to insist here to try to like persuade him, we can roll to persuade an NPC if you want to like push it a little further.
I mean, we can try. I've got a -1 to heart. Now I'll leave it.
Okay.
I believe I've thrashed him soundly enough.
You have. Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to mess with you again.
Yeah.
He sort of begins to shift back away from the sword. He says, "What's your name, anyhow?"
I'm Anthony's Adrift, and I'm a servant of insert name of the the masters here.
To be determined. A car drives by very loudly as Tony says the name of his deity, and you see his eyes go, like his eyebrows rise a bit as from recognition. He goes, "Right, that explains it. I don't want to be causing any trouble for you or your associates, so we'll leave it at that then." Reaches over, grabs his jacket and slings it over his shoulder. Be seeing you around.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Shit. Turns. You see, like, the tentacles are gone as he turns around. Though you do see, like, blood stains down his back. And he begins to walk through the parking garage away from you into the darkness.
Gonna just flick the sword, get any of the blood off, and then just, basically releases it from his grip, and it just poofs away.
Okay.
Then probably goes like into the trunk of the SUV and gets like an ice pack and slaps it on his face. And then I think at this point we'll like start texting Queenie and Riley of like chaos magic artifacts and stuff, and on my way.
Okay.
Stopped for calamari.
Perfect. You give them a text, load up in your car, ice pack pressed against your face as you put it in reverse, and pull out of the parking garage. While Queenie and Riley, two of your phones buzz as you are led back through the dark back rooms of the Siren nightclub to hopefully figure out what is going on here. And that is where we're going to end our session for tonight. Good job, everyone. Let's do our end of session stuff. So... Okay, so the end of our session, decide how you're going closer to a circle you've engaged with in the session, and you increase your score with that circle and decrease your score in a different circle.
Does remind me, I kind of meant to ask this because I was rolling against Grisham. Does that count for the
That's a good question.
Roll of the circle thing?
There's a list here.
I actually cashing in a debt with Francisco kind of put me over, so I get to take an advancement. I was just trying to figure out what it was.
Okay. Yeah, so the ways that you mark a circle, we can retroactively mark it for anyone that has. If you make any circle move, I think
I did.
some of you did. Yeah, you did. If you make any city move, we didn't do that. Didn't do trigger any intimacy. If you cash in or honor a debt, Tony, you honored a debt here.
Was 2 power, which...
Yeah, did you already have power marked?
Yeah.
Okay. If you lend a hand or get in the way, and I know Riley lended a hand, so you get to mark one with wild.
Wild, yeah.
That's what Queen's with. Make any move. So yeah, the only other one right now is when we adjust the circle ratings. Yeah, you don't get one for just for engaging in a basic move against someone. It's only a circle move or a city move. So yeah, does anyone have any idea who they want to adjust their circle ratings with? Which circle you think you've grown closer to or solidified your relationship with, and which one has grown worse?
Helping out these folks that just got turned into stuff, especially Donna. I'm gonna go ahead and up Knight, and then now having a new enemy with fucking Coraline. By the way, I'm cashing in, finding out dirt on a powerful NPC for that bitch, so she's going down. So I'm gonna go -1 power and a plus to Knight.
Okay. So you said you had marked all 4 circles?
I did.
Oh, cool.
So
Wow.
I get an advancement, I believe.
Nice.
Which I think I might give myself a... It said I can up a status, so I think I might give myself status 1 and Knight.
Okay.
Which seems to make sense.
Yeah. Tony, Riley, any ideas?
Grisham was Knight. I forget which circle.
Grisham was wild.
Ah. Okay. Well then.
Grisham, so you know, is a member of the Parkers.
Yep. Okay, so I think probably Wild goes down 1 after this encounter. And I think Tony views the work for helping the people affected more as helping Mortalis, even though we've established like Fisher is in power, Dawn is in Night, but the idea that, we're trying to save the mortals in general.
Yeah.
So gonna bump Mortalis up to a 0.
Okay. Riley? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, just to clarify, so shifting any of those doesn't let us mark advancement with any of the circles, right?
You mark advancement with the circle that goes up.
Okay,
The circle
gotcha.
that goes up. Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
I'm gonna use the same logic. I'm gonna mark 1 up for night because we're helping out the people affected by the nightclub. And I think I'm gonna mark down power because that whole interaction with Coraline kind of left a bad taste in Riley's mouth.
Okay, fair. Y'all did confront a very high status NPC just like out of the blue. So makes sense that you might be on some thin ice with them. Cool. Awesome. So Queen is marked all 4 and taking an advancement. Tony, how many have you marked at this point? I'm just curious. 3.
Just need 9 left.
Night. Okay. And then Riley, I assume you've marked like 2. Yeah.
I'm at 2.
Cool. Awesome. Making our way downtown. All right. That's gonna be it then. Let me go ahead and close us out. Changing some Western Adventures music. All right. Thanks everyone out there for watching. We will be back for the conclusion of our 3-part series of Red River Legends next week to wrap this whole ding dang thing up. Join us in the meantime, like I said before, tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Time for the continuation of Neon Souls. And check out the rest of our scheduled streams this weekend. Full schedules below our faces if you're watching us live on Twitch. And if you're watching us at some point in the future on YouTube, have our Twitch page and see what we're doing right now. Any of you have anything you want to plug, promote, you got going on? No? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you to my lovely players, as always, for being awesome and making this so much fun. And we will see you all next week. And until next time, good game and good night, Internet.